Okay, so up next we get Chris Jericho. Comes out, says it's good to be back, just like Monday's return. And it was one of the greatest moments of his career. But along came a spider, and it was a big, black, scary, venomous spider, and he ruined it all. And he said that he knows who the Wyatt family is and that they beat him down, so he wants to thank them for reminding him that the WWE isn't all about light-up jackets and surprise entrances, and that it's a dangerous place because it's also about survival. This is the Wyatts don't know him, but he is the best in the world at what he does. And they can do whatever they want, but he's going to get crazy if they want to get crazy. He'll get nuts if they want to get nuts. And if they do want to get crazy, he's game. And he wants to make sure that he will get nuts, and he will make sure that they aren't the same, because he went on this little tirade about how he doesn't talk like anyone else, he doesn't walk like anyone else, he doesn't act like anyone else, all these other things. And then the lights cut out, and the Wyatts appear on the Titantron. And dude, Bray Wyatt's promo here, about 30 seconds in, my jaw dropped, my throat clenched, and I got goosebumps, because Bray Wyatt is a freaking promo god.
The maestro of the microphone. I gave him that name for a reason. Absolutely phenomenal work here. Pretty much tells Chris, I know we haven't properly been introduced. I'm Bray Wyatt. You can call me, many things. And he also says, you may call me a destroyer. And pretty much, long story short, says that him and Chris Jericho, they will be having business with each other. The hunt is on. And to me, I think their match, Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt, is going to be absolutely exceptional.
Dude, my favorite part about this promo is how he opened it up. He said, the world does not have a voice, and therefore it cannot ask where it needs to be taken. It simply needs to be led. And then he said something about needing to be saved, and then he said, save us, Chris. And then he laughed, and that was when he apologized and said, allow me to introduce myself. And then towards the end of the promo, he said it again, save us, Chris. And then he laughed again, and then it cut to black. And I was like, oh my God, he's a freaking genius.
He is. Absolutely incredible. Again, my personal favorite mic worker in WWE right now. Honestly, and I know I'm probably going to get some flack for this, if Punk was still in the company, I'd have to say that Bray even still beats Punk at this point, for me.
Well, I think it's kind of tough to say that where you can't really compare the modern meta with Bray to any point that Punk. Are you seriously trying to say that Bray Wyatt right now is better than CM Punk in the summer of 2011? Because I will disagree with that.
For my personal enjoyment, that's why I really have qualified as such. I've enjoyed Bray's work more than that stuff.
That's understandable. That's all.
Objectively, you're right. It's very debatable, and I wouldn't even commit to a yes or a no. I just think, again, when you get talked about by non-wrestling sources for being the most interesting thing in wrestling, you know what I'd be curious about, Ashton, and I'm being serious? I'd be curious how many wrestling fans Bray Wyatt has created, if any. Because when you tell people about this gimmick and you tell them what he talks about, I really believe that he's the type of gimmick that you have to witness with your own eyes at least once. And if I'm right, and people have checked him out of a curiosity, maybe hearing it from a friend, or maybe who read that Forbes article that day, or just something, I wonder what their impression was. Because he's a guy that I bet you has just a wide variety of opinions, not just simply stopping at, I like him or I don't like him, but they go deeper into what they believe the character is and what he's supposed to represent. It's brilliance. It's sheer brilliance. Furthest thing from cookie cutter you can get in a wrestling product.
Absolutely. That's the real emphatic point here, is that Chris Jericho says he's unlike anyone else, and then Bray Wyatt shows up and says, hi, how you doing?
Exactly, like, I'm Bray Wyatt, take a number and get in the back. And speaking of people who can take a number and get in the back of the line, Chris Jericho, he says, I would like to get to know you. I would like to get closer to you and the family, so why don't you come on down here so we can settle this right now? And we don't get Bray Wyatt's music. Instead, we get a rock ripoff with, the introduction of Hollywood, the preview screen, flashing lights, and then Miz's theme hits. He comes out, but you know what? It's finally happened. We have found a place where I can enjoy the Miz. It's finally happened. He comes out, he cuts a promo pretty much saying, no, Chris, how does it feel to be interrupted? Last Monday, you deprived all the people watching at home the opportunity.
John, please don't go over the Miz's promo. Just talk about what happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, he pretty much says that, you interrupted me, blah, blah, blah. But the good news for you is that you didn't damage this. And then, doing his best impression, I guess, of Tyler Breeze, he says,
that ticked me off, man. I feel like he's ripping Tyler Breeze off.
Nobody can rip Tyler Breeze off because he's such a genuine article that whenever they do, their hands slip right off the mountain and they crash and burn.
Okay, maybe I should rephrase that then. It felt like he was trying to rip Tyler Breeze off.
You stand corrected, and I accept that. But, then no, he does say, you tried to damage the face, and if anything happened to this face, you, the WWE, everyone would, and then BAM! Code breaker. This is where the Miz needs to be. Miz only needs to be on TV when Chris Jericho is on TV so he can eat a code breaker. I laughed.
You know that song, I Threw It on the Ground by The Lonely Island?
Yeah.
I feel like you could take the lyrics to that song and do a find and replace where you replace every instance of Threw It on the Ground with took a code breaker from Y2J, and it would make for the perfect Miz storyline. He gets handed the latest energy drink by someone on the street. He takes it and eats a code breaker from Chris Jericho. He gets handed a free hot dog. He gets offended because he doesn't think he's a charity case, and then he eats a code breaker from Chris Jericho. Some kid at a birthday party hands him a slice of cake. He gets all angry because it's a birthday cake and he's not all into that stuff. But then Chris Jericho shows up and hits him with a code breaker. It's perfect.
Genius. Absolute genius. No, this is the only time I've really just reveled, been a mark for the Miz is when he's eating a code breaker to the face. I laughed my ass off Monday. I laughed even harder tonight. It's just so good. So he doesn't even finish his promo. Jericho just cuts him off, and I love the silence through it all because he doesn't even say anything afterwards. He puts Miz's sunglasses on. He's celebrating with the fans. And just to kind of fast forward a little bit so we can package it all together nicely, we did find out that next Monday night on Raw, which will be from Toronto, so should expect a great reaction for Jericho. Chris Jericho will be having his first televised match back against The Miz. Good. Don't waste this on Battleground. Don't waste any time with this. Let's get this match out of the way so we can focus on the real bread and butter, Chris Jericho versus Bray Wyatt.
Chris Jericho's from Winnipeg, you idiot.
I know, but it's still the same country. But, yeah, I'm excited.
I love that random fan. Go back to Toronto! And of course now Raw's in Toronto, so now people are going to be like, hey, you live here. But wait, no, he's from Winnipeg, you idiots.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how they react on Monday, because, never forget when Toronto is insulted. I mean, they haven't forgotten Bret Hart, so I highly doubt they'll forget Chris Jericho's remarks. But, yeah, with that said, what was our next segment, bud?
Our next segment was Big E versus Cesaro. Kinda, sorta, not really.
So, I guess...
It wasn't really a match. It was just a one-sided beatdown that ended because Big E decided to step up.
Right. I pretty much said all I wanted to in the opening segment. Do you have anything you want to add on to this?
Nope.
All right, let's move on.
AJ, Eva.
Okay, let's try and get through this as quickly as possible. Eva attempts to be a wrestler. AJ catches her in the Black Widow. Eva taps out. AJ wins. Paige was on commentary for the whole thing, but she didn't say a word. She was just applauding AJ, playing, I guess, the sly babyface, lying in wait before true intentions reveal themselves. Gets in the ring after the match, shakes AJ's hand, goes away clapping while AJ celebrates with the championship. Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't like this Paige, but that's the point because she's turning heel, so I'm just biding my time until she goes full-blown monster heel and kills someone.
Perfect.